All right, let's get right into it. Something pretty big just landed in the world of open weight AI. And honestly, it's trying to shake things up. We are talking about a brand new family of models built from scratch right here in the US. It's called Trinity, and it's a huge bet on where AI development is headed next. So, to really get why this is such a big deal, you got to ask a simple question. Right now, who's actually leading the charge in open AI? If you've been keeping an eye on this space, you probably already know where this is going. Yeah, for the past year or so, the answer has increasingly been not the US. A ton of the really groundbreaking stuff, especially with these super efficient models called Mixture of Experts, or MO for short, has been coming out of international labs. Places in China with incredible models like Quen and DeepSeek. They've really been setting the pace. So let's zoom in on that a bit. Let's look at this open source frontier, because the whole competitive scene is the key to understanding why a project like Trinity even needs to exist in the first place. It's been a really interesting dynamic to watch, right? On one side, you have the state of the art, which has been pretty much dominated by labs building entirely new models from the ground up. And on the other side, the typical approach we've seen in the US has been more about iterating, taking models that already exist and just polishing them or fine-tuning them. Now, that's a really smart strategy, for sure, but it can leave a gap when it comes to fundamental, foundational innovation. And that gap, well, that's exactly where this story takes a sharp turn. A new contender has shown up, and it's not here to just iterate. It's here to build a whole new foundation. So, meet Trinity. The official line is that it's a serious, open-weight model family, trained end-to-end in America. But the most important part, the real kicker, is that last bit, with weights that businesses and developers can own. Now think of the weights as the model's brain, all its learned knowledge. Owning them isn't just about tweaking performance, it's about having fundamental control. Okay, but that raises the big question, right? Why on earth would you go through the insane difficulty and cost of training a massive new model from scratch? Why is owning those weights so important? Well, it really comes down to three main pressures. First, you want to break through performance ceilings. See, when you're just fine-tuning someone else's model, you eventually hit a wall. Second, jurisdictional safety. This is a big one for companies. Knowing your entire AI pipeline is US-based isn't just about checking a box, it's about legal certainty and avoiding future headaches with data regulations. And third, and this is the really forward-looking part, building AI systems that can actually keep learning and getting better inside a company's own environment. And this quote really hits the nail on the head. If you want to build that kind of smart, adaptive, self-improving AI, you can't just be playing around on the surface. You need deep, fundamental control of the model's core, the weights, and the whole training pipeline. It's the difference between just changing the paint job on a car and actually building the engine from scratch. Now, with all that ambition, the Trinity project isn't just some far-off promise. Nope, they're already shipping, starting with 2 models that you can get your hands on right now. So first up, we have Nano and Mini. Trinity Nano is the smaller one, a 6 billion parameter model that's more experimental. They call it a personality-forward chat model. That one's just for download. Then you've got Trinity Mini. This one's a more serious 26 billion parameter model that's really focused on reasoning. It's fully post-trained and ready to go, available both as a download and through an API. So you can see they're serving different needs, but they're the first real pieces of this bigger puzzle. So what's the deal with these models? Well, the huge thing is the open weights are under a permissive Apache 2.0 license. In simple terms, that gives businesses incredible freedom to build on them and sell products without a bunch of crazy restrictions. They're also built to be compact and really good at complex stuff like reasoning and using digital tools. And maybe most importantly for a lot of people, they are designed to be super, super cost efficient. And when I say cost efficient, look at this number, 4.5 cents. That's the API price for Trinity Mini per million input tokens. That is incredibly cheap, making it one of the most affordable reasoning models out there. It just opens the door for all sorts of applications that would have been way too expensive to run before. But here's the thing. As cool as Nano and Mini are, they were also kind of like training wheels for something much, much bigger. And this is where the project's true ambition really snaps into focus. The scale of this next phase is just, wow. We're talking about a data set of 20 trillion tokens. Half of that is web data, the other half is synthetic. And the training for this beast is happening right now on a massive cluster of 2,048 of the latest B300 GPUs. This is a genuinely monumental effort, and it's all built on the lessons they learned from the smaller models. All of this massive amount of data, this insane compute power, it's all being poured into creating one simple, frontier-sized model. 420 billion. That is the total number of parameters in the flagship model they're building. Just let that sink in. That number puts it right up there in the top tier of frontier models, designed to compete with the very best. And here it is, Trinity Large. With 420 billion total parameters and 13 billion of those active at any one time, this is the end game of their current training run. It's scheduled to arrive in January 2026, and it really is the final expression of this whole effort to build a world-class, American-made, open-weight AI. Which brings us right back to the central idea, doesn't it? The whole Trinity project is making a massive bet that the future for serious AI in business isn't about just renting access to somebody else's closed-off model. It's about full ownership. It's about having the power to build truly intelligent systems from the ground up. And the big question this leaves us with is, are they right? Is this level of control what's going to define the next generation of enterprise AI?